Alright, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Zilchi and welcome back to another solo leveling of Rise video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Sung Jinwoo's best weapons, the SSR weapons. We're not going to be taking a look at the SR weapons. So if you guys do want to see that specifically in terms of the SR weapons, let me know in the comments below. We'll get that done. But in this video, we're just going to take a look at his SSRs. We're going to talk about which one is his best, which ones are, good. I'm going to tell you guys right now, the S tier and the A tier are mainly where these weapons are going to be. There's no B, C, or D because all these weapons are pretty good. Actually, I might have lied. We're going to take a look at which one might be B, maybe C, right? We'll take a look. So if you guys do enjoy this video, hit that like button, comment, share, and subscribe. And let's just hop right into it. So what we're going to start off with is we're going to start from this to this, right? So let's go from the Wukong staff. Wukong staff is very, very, very good. It does a lot of damage. I'm going to put it in S tier. At first, I was going to put it in A tier because all it does is damage. And the main damage that it does comes from the support that we get from like the Plumflower Sword or the new light spear weapon, which is not in here, unfortunately. But I'm going to tell you guys where I would put that. But I think it might be able to be in S tier. If anything, it'll probably be at the end of S tier just because of it being only 4 damage. Right. Next, we're going to talk about this Guild Boss Spear. I'm going to put it in A tier. It could be S tier. It really could be S tier, but it's only going to be in A tier because compared to the other weapons, it's just a little lackluster, right? If you're comparing it to the light spear, it doesn't do as much damage. It still does very good damage, don't get me wrong, but I think it deserves its spot in A tier. Still a very good free-to-play weapon if you guys have it, right? So be sure to go ahead and farm the guild boss, get those rewards, get those exchange things that you need, and just get the crafting material that you need to craft this, right? I think this is a very good weapon, A tier for sure, right? Again, we put the Wukong staff there over this because I think in terms of light damage and the buff that you'll be getting, I think the Wukong staff does out damage this because the Wukong staff is definitely meant to be a one-shot type of weapon, right? Like you're supposed to use the skill and switch back, etc, etc. I don't know why I said etc like that. Like I'm actually like typing. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize, but I think Wukong staff. I'm gonna take back what I said earlier. This definitely deserves to be an S tier. I think when it comes to damage, it's just in a league of its own, right? Then with this one, it does really good damage alongside buffs that you get from the Plumflower Sword, the new Gold Tail Fox, stuff like that. So I think that deserves A tier for sure. You're gonna see a lot of people use this for the new Workshop of Brilliant Light that is coming out, which will be weak to light and fire. So very good. Also, I want to point out before we continue, they added the orb here for SRs. We're not doing any SRs, so I put that in D. So just in case you guys were wondering why that's there. So that's the reason. So the reason why I said maybe some would be in B tier is because this weapon is definitely in B tier. Okay, the Scatty is definitely in B tier. It's just not that good anymore. Listen, I made videos on this weapon proving people wrong that it was actually pretty good. Right, but as content evolved, as we got better weapons, you start to realize that things start to fall off. Even with the buff this got, it's just not good enough, right? So I do think this one should be in B tier. It doesn't do enough damage. The freeze isn't long enough. And even though it has AoE effect, it does help you get some of the challenges done, the new challenge trophies, right? Which I have not done a single one. I need to get that going. But I do think this deserves to be here. Again, if you don't have any good water weapon, this weapon is good to use in that sense. It does decent damage, but if you're comparing it to something like the Grimoire, then I'm gonna be honest, it's just not there. It really is just not there. The Phoenix Bow, I'm gonna put it in A tier, but it's gonna shoot up to the S tier when the next Workshop of Brilliant Light drops, because obviously you're gonna see more usage out of it. It does very good damage, but only when you do the core attack. I feel like the other damage, the other attacks from it, like the little firebirds you get from it, doesn't really do too much. But it's only with the core attack. And if you don't have a really good core attack set up with your Jinwoo, you're not going to see the max damage from this. Really, right? So I think it deserves to be an A tier right now. Still a very good weapon, very strong, the best fire weapon that we have right now until we get the new one that's coming out. All right, so we have this weapon. It might jump up into S tier. but I think it's gonna stay in A tier for now, just because of it does good damage, but it lacks when it's not doing the core attack. I feel like. Let me know what you guys think of my list, by the way, in the comments below. I'm curious to see your guys' opinion. If you guys agree or disagree, let me know. I do like to start conversations in the comment section, so yeah, just let me know. Next, we have the Grimoire. Definitely going to be an S tier, a very good support weapon. You guys see this book used since the release of the game, even in early access. This book was absolutely amazing. I made a ton of videos about this book, why it's like absolutely amazing, right? I think, oh, yo, guys, sorry, voice crack. I just woke up, all right? No one judge me for that. Anyways, I think this weapon is definitely deserving of the S tier because of the support that you get. It's a very good staple weapon. If any account doesn't have this weapon, I do feel sorry. I'm going to be honest, because you're using this in almost everything. You can use this weapon to do even more damage with other weapons, right? Like if you don't have the Plumflower Sword and you have this weapon, you can go ahead and use this and get that erosion effect, right? Which allows you to do more damage. So very, very, very good weapon right here. If you guys have it, great. If you don't, you should definitely invest in it. You should definitely invest in it. Moonshadow, no words needed. Very good support weapon, especially after the 5-star buff, right? Allowing your team members to do more damage. What is it, like 15% more damage, which is very, very, very good. Right, allows you to do more damage with your dark weapons, which is why it's a very good weapon to use alongside of, what's that one skill? Magnifying slashes, right? The dark magnifying slashes. Very, very, very strong skill, especially when you're using it alongside the Plumflower Sword and this. You dash with the Plumflower Sword, or you use this, use the Moonshadow, dash with the Plumflower Sword, use the magnifying slash, and you're gonna see yourself do so much damage with that skill. It's not even funny. On top of that, you're giving yourself and your team a higher damage outburst when you're inside of the, what's it called, lunar eclipse, the moon thing on the floor, right? You have that for 3 seconds. I do hope, I kind of wish it was longer, maybe like 5 seconds, but that would kind of be broken. I'm gonna be honest, it would kind of be absolutely broken. Next, we have the daggers here. Absolutely S tier. Absolutely S tier. Can I put it above? Okay. This is the highest dealing damage weapon in the game. Again, this is a weapon that is scaled off of how much attack points you have in the strength, right? So that's why I used to say the strength build is definitely the best build because of this weapon. Now, as time progresses, I think you want to build your Sung JINWOO with 85% to 90% precision. If you can get to 99%, that's absolutely amazing. If not, don't even worry about it. I think 85 to 90% is still pretty good. And then the rest in your strength points, right? That's what makes this weapon so strong, is the amount of strength points you have in your JINWOO. And it just doing so much damage from its ult. It's just absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Next, we have this. I'm going to put this in A tier for now. I think it could be S tier. It does a lot of damage, right? But when you're comparing it to these weapons here, I think it's just A tier, right? It's a very good weapon. Don't get me wrong. It's like, such a good weapon, right? What I'll say, if I could move these all the way down here, I would, right? This weapon, I think in the A tier, is like a leagues above these two weapons here. It's very, very, very good, especially after the buff that it got, right? To where you can now just use your ult, as much damage as you would get from the counter with just using the ult from it, right? So it's very, very, very strong. Next, we have the Plumflower Sword. We're going to put right there. Top tier support weapon. You guys already know this weapon has been out since global release, since in early access, and I've been using it ever since. I'm gonna be honest. Once you get it to 5-star, this thing is absolutely amazing, allowing you to do 32% crit damage, and then another 32% crit rate, allowing you to do more damage, right? It's just absolutely amazing. I think this is the best support weapon alongside the Moonshadow in the game right now. So now I don't have the gold tail fox here, but if I were to go ahead and put it somewhere, I would put it in the A tier, only because it's a buff for the light weapons. It's only a buff for the light weapons. It's a very good buff for the light weapons. If we were just taking a look at light weapons, it would be S tier. But when you're taking a look at every weapon, right, we're going to put it in A tier because, again, it's just a buff for the light weapons, and the weapon itself doesn't do that much damage, right? The weapons animations are cool and stuff, but it's just not enough for me to put it in S tier compared to all the other weapons, the support weapons and stuff, right? Whereas the Plumflower Sword is buffing everything. This Moonshadow is buffing everything. This Grimoire is also buffing everything. So it's like when you're comparing it to those, then it's just GG's from that point, right? But yeah, there you guys have it. That is the tier list for Sung Jinwoo's weapons. If you guys did enjoy where I put these weapons, be sure to let me know in the comments below, and we will have a conversation about it. But yeah, if you guys would be so kind as to like the video, comment, share, and subscribe. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers. That would be absolutely amazing. But yeah, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.